Hello, Brody Brodingers, and by that, of course, I mean friends. Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Pull up a chair. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 10 different fragrances that everyone will love, regardless of their age or gender. Fragrances with mass appeal in mind, and a lot of these are very affordable as well, which is a win-win in my book. So let's do it. Let's talk about it. 10 fragrances everyone will love. As always, guys, linked in the description below are all the fragrances I'll be talking about here today. Feel free to check them out down there. Let's kick things off with one from Christian Dior, none other than Dior Homme 2020. And while the original Dior Homme is one of the best designer fragrances of all time, if you're just talking about mass appeal, you know, the most people that are gonna like it, Dior Homme 2020 is gonna beat out Dior Homme Original for your normal person. For your deep down the rabbit hole frag head, you know, somebody that's got a massive collection and has smelled tons of things, probably Dior Homme Original, they'll find a little bit more interesting. But this guy is the one you want if you want something that's very versatile, modern, and easy to pull off. It does have a very fresh, woody scent profile to it, pretty much from the opening into the dry down. But Dior Homme 2020 is the type of fragrance that you can rock pretty much year round, daytime or nighttime. Really a fantastic fragrance and very much under the radar compared anyway to Dior Sauvage. Under the radar overall, no, but it's nowhere near as common as that one. Next, a fragrance that you can find very cheap online. Joma Shop has this one for $25 for a 50 ml, or you can get a 100 ml size bottle for the much higher price of $27. Yeah, I don't know if they thought that pricing through, but it is what it is. I suggest you pay $2 more to get twice as much, but you do you. It is from Abercrombie & Fitch, and it is Authentic Man. Now, Abercrombie & Fitch, most well known, of course, for Fierce, because that is one of the bigger releases of all time when you're talking about men's fragrances, and very much the biggest, I would say, if you're talking men's mall fragrances, like fragrances that come from stores like Abercrombie or Hollister or stuff like that. But Authentic Man is actually a very solid fragrance as well, especially when you consider that price point. 25 bucks, 27 bucks, that's super cheap. This one is fresh, aromatic, woody, has a similarity to Creed's Aventus and Mont Blanc Explorer, so it's kind of in that style, in that wheelhouse of fragrance, which of course basically just tells you all you need to know as far as a scent profile that everybody's gonna dig. And even though this is an Abercrombie & Fitch fragrance, a really wide age range of people can pull this off. This is not a fragrance that's like so bubblegummy sweet that only young people can pull it off. Nah. Just about anybody can wear this. From there, we bounce over to a very tacky, very gaudy looking presentation, very in-your-face bottle style here. But the fragrance itself is one that is well loved by just about anybody. Again, when we're talking your average everyday person, not your hardcore fragrance nerd like myself, or possibly like you as well. It is Carolina Herrera's Bad Boy, just the original Bad Boy here. I think that the original Bad Boy is going to be more mass appealing than Le Parfum, even though Bad Boy Le Parfum is maybe a little more unique smelling. Also, you could go with Bad Boy Cobalt. That one also has great mass appeal to it. And Bad Boy Cobalt smells kind of similar to Invictus Platinum. We're going off the rails here. Let's get back to this one. So this has a little touch of citrus, black pepper, and cocoa, along with a good amount of tonka to the scent. So this one is going to be a wonderful night out fragrance, a good date night fragrance, a fall and winter time, everyday kind of fragrance. Of course, if you've been into any stores where this is at, the bottle has no doubt caught your attention, kind of stealing a page out of Paco Rabanne's playbook by going with the ostentatious bottle design. Even though Bad Boy may not get a huge amount of love in the fragrance community, this stuff will work wonders if you're just looking for a fragrance that people will dig. Okay, next one is a clone fragrance. It's from Maison Alhambra. It does have a tendency to sell out very quickly. So if you want this one, you're gonna have to be a little bit patient, most likely. Fragrance Buy gets it in fairly often, but as I said, when it comes into stock, it sells out very quick. One thing you can do if you're wanting to pick that up is you can go to the page on Fragrance Buy's website and put in your email address and be like, notify me when this comes back in stock. But do be aware, that, as I said, it sells out pretty quick. Now, as time goes and more people are able to get the bottle that they've been looking for, it should stay in stock with more frequency, but that is not right now as of when I'm shooting this video. Anyway, Maison Alhambra fragrance is the Tux. Now, this is a blatant clone of Yves Saint Laurent's Tuxedo, right down to the presentation. So, I mean, they are really putting it out there that, yeah, we are just absolutely 100% trying to do our version of that fragrance. Now, here is the deal with the Tux. It is freaking amazing as far as clones go. There are a bunch of clones out there that will get you kind of close, but they're not quite there. You know, there's a ton of them out there. The Tux, this stuff is about as close to spot on as you can get. And when it's in stock, it is way, way cheaper than Yves Saint Laurent's Tuxedo. So the Tux, this is the Tuxedo clone that you want. It's just you may need to be a little bit patient, like I said, for it to come into stock so you can get it. Woody, spicy, sweet. It is just an absolutely amazing fragrance for fall and winter time. And even though this is a clone and a fairly inexpensive clone, it does not smell inexpensive. So there is so much to love about this. And I think that the Tux has kind of replaced Roca's Mustache Eau de Parfum as the alternative of Tuxedo. That being said, Mustache Eau de Parfum is still great on its own, as its own thing. Next fragrance is from Michael Malone. PSA, I am biased. I work with Michael Malone. I have multiple fragrances that I've released under the Michael Malone name that I've creatively directed. I am currently working on more fragrances that will be released in the future underneath the Michael Malone name, so keep that in mind. P.S. You shop at michaelmalone.com for my fragrances. Terra Nova, which was nominated for Fragrance of the Year last year by the Fragrance Foundation. We're still up for that one, finalists, so wish us luck. And Blue Ridge and Jet Black Enigma. All three of those, you can use the code GENTS for 20% off on Michael Malone's website, which is linked below. That also counts toward any of the other fragrances on Michael Malone's website. Or you can go to the Fragrance Outlet or Perfumania, any store in the US, and they should have those as well, unless they're sold out. Actually, a lot of stores are sold out right now, but you can still check. Anyway, fragrance that we're talking about, Michael Malone Amber and Smoke. This is one of the new Michael Malone releases, and I do like the presentation. I think it looks really slick. The cap has been upgraded, and now it clicks into place. That's the little things. This one has saffron, amber, tobacco, pipe smoke, and sugared moss as some of the notes in the fragrance, and the perfumer was Ilias Armanidis, who did my fragrance, Jet Black Enigma. So Amber and Smoke, this smells kind of like a more masculine take on Baccarat Rouge 540. So the way the saffron comes across here is going to remind you of BR 540, but then with the additional smoke and tobacco that's been added in here, it gives it more of a masculine lean. I think this stuff smells fantastic. It's a big compliment puller, which you would expect, because any fragrance that's kind of in that family of BR 540 does really well. But do keep in mind, this fragrance can have you go anosmic. So this is that type of scent where you can spray it on real heavy, and if you have a tendency to go anosmic to fragrances, you'll be like, oh dude, it's not here. 30 minutes later, it's gone. And then you'll walk by somebody and they'll be like, oh my God, what are you wearing so strong, bro? Spare us. It is that type of fragrance. When I first was wearing this one, I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't seem so strong, huh? And then my wife was like, oh no, I can smell it way over here. You're good. So I realized the anosmia. It does smell great though. Absolutely fantastic. After that one, Prada Luna Rosa Carbon. Luna Rosa Carbon, yeah, Prada's take on Dior Sauvage. It does have that similarity to Sauvage, the way that it comes across, but like Sauvage, it's a huge people pleaser. Very appealing, easy to wear, a little bit smoother than Dior Sauvage. You know, it's not quite as aggressive with that metallic opening. Has a little more lavender to it, you know, a little cleaner, and then it has that ambroxan in spades, just like Dior Sauvage. So Luna Rosa Carbon, you all know about this one. From there, we hop on over to a cheapie, one from Jimmy Choo, and a fragrance that is tailor-made for hot days during the spring or most specifically the summer. Jimmy Choo Man Ice, which I would say that from the Jimmy Choo Man line, that Ice is probably still my favorite. I think that this one just does it the best for me. A great citrusy opening that's very fresh and uplifting, and icy, like you would expect from the name. So it has almost a cooling effect when you spray it on. Again, high heat days, perfect. Fragrance like this is tailor-made for like a day where you're having a cookout or something. You're gonna be mingling with people, it's hot. This is gonna have you smelling fresh, clean, and at the same time, very classy. Has a little bit of vetiver in there as it dries down, as well as musk and ambroxan. Choo Man Ice, perfect scent for a hot summer day. Do be aware, the performance on this one, not up to par with most of the others, but thankfully, it is, as I said before, inexpensive, so you can go heavy with this, who cares? Completely different type of fragrance up next from Emporio Armani, Stronger with You. Absolutely. A little bit of a fragrance community darling, Stronger with You, absolutely. It has a boozy, gourmand, warm sweetness to it. Of course, it has that chestnut, which you're gonna find across most of the Stronger with You line. You have a little lavender in there, imparting some freshness and a little clean touch to those heavier boozy and gourmandy notes. Really good performance, lasts a long time, projects extremely well. Perfect date night fragrance or night out fragrance in general. Stronger with You, absolutely. One of the best of this type of fragrance that you can find on the market. And then we have one from Bentley. Bentley for Men, Silver Lake. A lot of Bentley for Men fragrances get a ton of love in the fragrance community, if you want to call it that, just love. Bentley for Men Intense, that one probably gets the most. Bentley for Men Absolute, Bentley for Men Black Edition. You know, you got a lot of really solid ones there. The thing with some of those Bentley for Men fragrances is that for your average person, they don't actually smell all that nice. Now, for someone like me, and for a lot of you out there, something like Bentley for Men Intense is just crazy. It's like niche quality, but very inexpensive. So it's got all these things going on. You know, it's rich, it's elegant, and at the same time, as far as designers go, quite unique. And then at a lower price point than you would expect. So for a lot of us, it's like, man, this is just sick. One of the best fragrances you can buy as far as bang for your buck. And then your average person gets it and they smell it and they go, oh, I can't wear this. That happens with some of the Bentleys. Bentley for Men Silver Lake though, this is about as safe as you can get. It's got citrus, you know, a little lavender, kind of a tonka thing going on there. It smells a little bit similar to Acqua di Gio from Giorgio Armani, which really tells you about all you need to know. I don't think there are too many people out there who have ever smelled Acqua di Gio and been like, why? Oh my, this is challenging. I don't think this is wearable. Oh, the clean freshness. So thankfully you don't have to worry about that. A Silver Lake, kind of a modern, but still very fresh, Acqua di Gio-ish type fragrance that pretty much everybody is gonna love. Let's switch gears once again and go back to a fall and winter time fragrance to wrap things up here. Spice Bomb Infrared from Victor and Rolf. It is sweet and spicy, and it makes use of those red notes to drive home the infrared idea. Red berries, cinnamon, saffron, tobacco, you get the idea. It is more on the sweet side, like the fruity sweet side, the sweet spicy side, as compared to something like Spice Bomb Extreme. Spice Bomb Extreme concentrating more on that tobacco and black vanilla, and yes, spices, but the sweetness there coming more from the vanilla, whereas here it comes from the fruit and the spice. And even though Spice Bomb Infrared does concentrate more of its sweetness up on the upper end of things, you know, the top and the mid, it still has great use for a wide age range. And that one will wrap it up, Spice Bomb Infrared. I want to thank all of you for hanging with me, as always. Please stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.